everyone. I hope you all are doing very well. Welcome to the daily news analysis. The purpose of this session is to make you feel confident about your current affairs preparation. इस वीडियो को देखने के बाद, इस सेशन को अटेंड करने के बाद आपको आज के करंट अफेयर्स, आज का न्यूज़पेपर समझने में कोई परेशानी नहीं होगी। तो आइए शुरू करते हैं आज के पहले न्यूज़ आर्टिकल के साथ। Okay, so the first news article pertains to your GS2 paper. Yes, उसमें भी अगर हम देखें जो सोशल जस्टिस का टॉपिक होता है आपका, उसके अंडर ये वाली न्यूज़ आपके लिए इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाती है। इट टॉक्स अबाउट द इंक्रीजिंग चाइल्ड ओबिसिटी इन इंडिया। यस, एक रिसेंटली एक स्टडी हुई थी, इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है एक, उन्होंने एक स्टडी करी और उस स्टडी में उन्होंने ये पाया दैट इंडिया रैंक सेकंड ग्लोबली फॉर चिल्ड्रन हु आर ओवरवेट एंड लिविंग विद ओबेसिटी, सेज रिपोर्ट। तो इस न्यूज आर्टिकल के अंडर हम समझेंगे कि क्या डेटा है, व्हाट डज द डेटा से रिगार्डिंग चाइल्ड ओबेसिटी इन इंडिया। इस बढ़ते हुए ट्रेंड के, इस बढ़ती हुई चाइल्ड ओबेसिटी के पीछे क्या कारण है वो भी हम समझेंगे और इससे एसोसिएटेड क्या हेल्थ रिस्क हैं, क्या हेल्थ चैलेंजेस हैं, उनको भी हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। Okay, so let's begin by understanding all these aspects one by one. Okay, so first of all, you should know that which is this international organization who has released this report. Okay, so see, first of all, आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि अभी recently 4th March, that is yesterday, we observed the World Obesity Day. Okay, और उस occasion पे एक international organization है, that is World Obesity Federation, जिन्होंने एक रिपोर्ट रिलीज की है बाय द नेम ऑफ वर्ल्ड ओबेसिटी एटलस 2026। ओके, तो आपको कंफ्यूज करने के लिए स्टेटमेंट में दिया जा सकता है दैट वर्ल्ड ओबेसिटी एटलस 2026 वाज रिलीज्ड बाय WHO। यस, that would be false because it has been released by the World Obesity Federation. Okay, it can be a trap here, so please keep this in mind that this report has been released by World Obesity Federation. Okay, now let's see what this report talks about. What are the concerns, the major concerns highlighted in this report? Okay, firstly, as we saw before that India has ranked second globally in the number of children living with overweight and obesity after China. Yes, we all understand what is being overweight, we all understand what is obesity. Yes, it is when there is a lot of fat accumulation in our body, that is being obese. When our body mass index is higher than what is the normal standard, that is when we will say that a particular child is obese. Okay, then secondly, around 41 million children and adolescents in the age group of 5 to 19 years in India are living with overweight or obesity in 2025. So it is quite a huge number, 41 million children and adolescents, that too in this limited age range of 5 to 19 years. Okay, so this is a major concern. Yes, so we need to understand what are the causes. ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है कि हमारी कंट्री has ranked second in terms of obesity, in terms of number of obese children. Yeah, so let's see what are the causes behind this trend. Okay, so key causes, the first one includes unhealthy diets and the consumption of ultra processed foods. Yes, so which are your ultra processed foods? It includes all your packaged chips, your cold drinks, your packaged biscuits, and all this is included under ultra processed foods. Now what happens, these foods, they are high calorie density foods. Now what do I mean by high calorie density foods? That means they have as their ingredients refined sugars, artificial flavors, unhealthy fats, refined carbohydrates. Yes, जो ये सारी आपकी फैट को ऐड करने वाली चीजें हैं, वो सारे इंग्रेडिएंट्स हमें मिलते हैं अल्ट्रा प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स में. That is why when you consume these ultra processed foods, there is a excess intake of calories. Yes, आप एक बिस्किट खाते हो उससे excess calorie intake हो जाता है. But the catch here is that these have high calorie density, but they have low nutritional value. Calorie density तो ज़्यादा है इन foods की. Yes, आपको you are consuming more calories per unit of this food eaten, but you are consuming less nutrition per unit of this food consumed. Yes, low nutritional values, I mean there are less vitamins, there are less fibers, there are less minerals in these ultra processed foods. Yes, due to which you feel hungry again and again. Yes, these foods keep you hungry for longer periods. Yes, you do not feel that I have eaten enough. Okay, that is how this is a chain that ultra processed foods, they are high in calorie but they are low in nutrition. What do they do because of that? They trigger more hunger, and when they trigger more hunger, you tend to consume them more, and they will trigger again more hunger. So this is how it leads to obesity. This is how ultra processed foods lead to obesity. I hope this point is clear. Then same is the case with high consumption of sugar sweetened beverages. Yes, all your cold drinks, all your packaged fruit juices, they contain very high amount of sugar, because of which they add to the fat accumulation in our body. Yes, I hope these 2 points are clear. Then thirdly, there is declining physical activity among children. Yes, the current lifestyle is such that children are now more shifting towards the indoor activities. Yes, उनका जो बाहर का प्लेइंग टाइम था वो कम हो रहा है, एकेडमिक प्रेशर बढ़ रहा है, जिस वजह से चिल्ड्रन आर नाउ मोर एंड मोर कन्फाइंड टू देयर indoor activities. Yes, their outdoor playing, their outdoor physical activities are reducing, which is also another cause for increasing child obesity in India. Yes, physical activity is essential for maintaining energy balance, healthy metabolism, and proper growth of children. Yes, WHO recommends that children aged 5 to 17 years should perform at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity every day. Yes, but in a sharp contrast to that, approximately 74% of Indian adolescents fail to live by this standard. Yes, 74% of Indian adolescents do not spend 60 minutes every day doing vigorous physical activity. Yes, which adds to obesity. Yes, then another factor is urban lifestyles and sedentary behavior. Yes, we are now we are now we now tend to be more consumed with our mobile phones. There is a longer screen time. This is observed even among children. Yes, indoor lifestyles are becoming more prominent. Yes, and there is convenience culture. Yes, if we want anything, it is immediately delivered at our doorstep. Yes, we do not need to do any physical activity to get that particular goods or services. Yes, so there is a greater dependence on home delivery food and fast food outlets, due to which our physical activity, our walking, our running, all of that has reduced. Okay, so these are the main causes behind obesity. Then another major reason is there is aggressive marketing of junk food to children. Yes, जो भी आपके children's के programs होते हैं, उनके जो भी कार्टून चैनल्स होते हैं, कार्टून टीवीज होते हैं, उस सब में जो भी जंक फूड्स हैं, जो भी उनके रिलेटेड चॉकलेट्स हैं, चिप्स हैं, उन सब की बहुत एग्रेसिवली मार्केटिंग होती है, जिस वजह से भी वो इन सारी प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स, जंक फूड की तरफ ज़्यादा अट्रैक्ट होते हैं. ओके, so television advertisements during children's programs, social media campaigns again influence them towards consuming such ultra processed foods. Okay, clear? Now let's see what are the health concerns associated with obesity. Yes, obesity invites multiple kinds of diseases to your body. Okay, so let's see one by one what all health concerns are associated with obesity. So first one being the cardiovascular diseases. Yes, we all understand what does cardiovascular means. It means diseases related to your heart functioning. Okay. So what does excess fat in your body do? It increases cholesterol. Okay, and triglyceride levels, leading to atherosclerosis. Yes, that your veins and arteries start becoming narrower due to the fat accumulation in your body. And the term used for that is atherosclerosis. Okay, so this is one major thing, that accumulation of fats lead to narrowing of arteries and veins in your body, due to which the risk of cardiovascular diseases such as hypertension, heart attacks, and strokes increases. Okay, clear how cardiovascular diseases are caused by obesity? Yes. Second, टाइप 2 डायबिटीज के चांसेस भी इंक्रीज हो जाते हैं. यस, it is one of the strongest risk factors for type 2 diabetes. Yes, excess fat gets accumulated around your abdominal organs and that causes insulin resistance. आप सबको पता होगा हमारी बॉडी में एक हार्मोन रिलीज होता है इंसुलिन, जो हमारी बॉडी में शुगर लेवल्स को रेगुलेट करने के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है. But now, if excess fats gets accumulated, what will happen? Your body will develop an insulin resistance. Yes, even if insulin is there, it won't be able to regulate the blood sugar levels in your body. Okay, due to which It can lead to high blood glucose levels in your bloodstream, leading to type 2 diabetes. Okay, so this is second health concern after the cardiovascular diseases is type 2 diabetes. Now let's see how it causes respiratory problems. Yes, so obesity can impair your normal breathing. जो हमारे चिल्ड्रन की नॉर्मल ब्रीदिंग की रेट होती है उसको भी obesity impair कर सकता है. Yes, it can lead to repeated interruptions of breathing during sleep. It can reduce lung capacity due to fat accumulation around chest and abdomen. Yes, if there is a lot of fat accumulation around your chest and abdomen, it can lead to your, it can reduce your lung capacity. Yes, due to which you will feel interruptions in breathing while you are sleeping. Okay, so this causes also respiratory problems. Then it also causes musculoskeletal disorders. How? That it can the excess body fat, excess body weight can place mechanical stress on your bones and joints. Yes, that is very much understood. When you have obese weight, when you have overweight, your bones and joints will come under mechanical stress. Yes, that is how it can lead to problems such as back pain, osteoarthritis, reduced mobility. Yes, abnormal bone growth among children, and posture problems. Okay, I hope these all points are clear. Started with discussing cardiovascular diseases. Yes, then it also causes your respiratory problems, type 2 diabetes, and also musculoskeletal disorders. Yes, so this is an infographic showing that what kind of health risks are associated with obesity. Yes, heart diseases and stroke, then joint and bone problems. Yes, overweight puts excessive stress on your joints and bones. Yes, and excessive fat can narrow your veins and arteries, which increases the risk of heart stroke, heart attacks, etc. Then we studied how it increases the risk of type 2 diabetes. Yes, we studied that excessive fat accumulation leads to insulin resistance, due to which blood sugar levels in our body spike, increasing the risk for type 2 diabetes. And we studied how it can cause sleep apnea. Yes, sleep apnea जो हमने पढ़ा कि excessive fat accumulation can reduce your lung capacity, leading to interruptions while you sleep. That is what is meant by sleep apnea. Okay, I hope all these concerns are clear. Now let's see what can we do to tackle this challenge. Yes, ये जो बढ़ती हुई child obesity है इसको tackle करने के लिए हम क्या policy steps ले सकते हैं. Okay, so the first step that was suggested in this news article was that we can put extra taxes on sugary drinks and unhealthy foods. Yes, आपने पढ़ा होगा अपनी इकोनॉमिक्स की क्लासेस में कि कभी हम कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स पे ऐसे टैक्सेस लगाते हैं ताकि उनकी कंजम्पशन कम हो जाए, जैसे आपकी सिगरेट्स पे होती है. यस, उस तरह के टैक्स को हम कहते हैं सिन टैक्स. ओके, सो दिस न्यूज आर्टिकल proposes imposing sin tax on sugary drinks and unhealthy foods as well. Yes, even other countries around the globe have done this. Mexico has, UK has, and South Africa has. They have introduced a sugar tax which reduce sugary drinks consumption. Yes, तो जब टैक्स बढ़ेगा इन प्रोडक्ट्स पे तो ऑब्वियसली दे विल बिकम मोर एक्सपेंसिव बनेंगे तो देयर डिमांड अमंग चिल्ड्रन विल reduce. Yes, so that is how we can reduce their consumption among the children. Then restrictions on marketing junk food to children. Yes, हमने देखा जो चिल्ड्रंस के प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, जो चिल्ड्रंस के स्पेसिफिक टीवी चैनल्स होते हैं, उस पे जो जंक फूड होता है, जो प्रोसेस फूड होता है, उसकी बहुत एग्रेसिव मार्केटिंग होती है, एग्रेसिव एडवर्टाइजिंग होती है. सो द न्यूज आर्टिकल प्रपोजेस putting restrictions on marketing junk food to children. Governments can impose regulations limiting advertising of unhealthy foods, especially during children's television programming. Yes, this is another step we can take towards our children's safety. Okay. Then is promotion of physical activity in schools. Yes, you all agree with me that children spend a major portion of their lifestyle, their life in their schools. So if we introduce physical activity, if we make their physical education classes, their sports activities mandatory in school, they will be more encouraged to take part in outdoor activities as compared to indoor activities. Yes, then next we can do improve nutrition policies and food labeling. Yes, so food labeling means that we make it very much clear on the food packet itself कि इसमें इतने fats हैं, इसमें इतना इससे इतना आपको कोलेस्ट्रॉल स्पाइक होगा, इससे आपको इतना ब्लड शुगर लेवल में स्पाइक होगा, तो वो सारा अगर हम पैकेट में ही क्लियरली मेंशन कर लें, they will increase awareness. Yes, we won't just consume mindlessly. We won't know that this food can cause this disease to my body. Okay, so it helps consumers quickly identify unhealthy products and take precautionary steps accordingly. Yes, then we can do regulation of school food environments. Yes, जो आपकी स्कूल की कैंटीन्स होती हैं, जो स्कूल की प्रेमाइसेस में जितनी भी food stalls होती हैं, उस सब में we have to ensure there is no junk in the school canteens and nearby shops. Then we have to set some nutrition standards. Yes, हमें nutrition standards इस तरह से set करने चाहिए कि जो आपकी जितनी भी food firms हैं, जितनी भी आपकी फूड एंड बेवरेजेस में इन्वॉल्व कंपनीज हैं, वो इन सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स को फॉलो करें. वी शुड हैव सर्टेन लिमिट्स फॉर शुगर, हाउ मच sugar they can use in a particular food product, how much salt, how much fat content, etc., etc. So we need to strengthen our nutrition guidelines and our labeling guidelines. Okay, I hope this is clear till here. Then the last point that we can take is, the last step is, of course, public awareness and early prevention strategies. Yes, we need to make the public aware that what are the long-term health risks associated with childhood obesity. Yes, we need to have public health campaigns that promote balanced diets, that increase physical activity, that promote the reduced consumption of junk food. Okay, so I hope these all policy steps are clear. That the news article proposed imposing additional sin tax on the junk foods and ultra processed foods. Then it proposed certain nutrition standards to be set, certain labeling guidelines to be followed. Yes, then it also recommended that we need to inculcate physical activity in school curriculum. Yes, there should be mandatory sports classes, mandatory physical activity sessions. And lastly, it also talked about public awareness and public campaigns. I hope this is clear. Yes, so this was all about your obesity topic, child obesity. This becomes important for your GS paper 2 under social justice section. Okay, and the data in the beginning also becomes important. I hope this is all clear. Let's move to the next news article now. It talks about India's need for a mandatory R&D disclosure standard. Mandatory R&D disclosure standard. Okay, so first let's understand. आपको इस न्यूज आर्टिकल को यहाँ से देख के समझ आ गया होगा that it pertains to R&D. R&D मतलब research and development. Yes, what is the importance of R&D in a economy? Why is it so significant? तो सबसे पहले समझते हैं व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ R&D डिस्क्लोजर. यस, यहाँ पे सिर्फ R&D टर्म यूज नहीं की गई है, यहाँ पे यूज किया गया R&D disclosure standard. Okay, so R&D disclosure means public reporting of information related to a firm's research and development activities. Yes, कोई भी फर्म है, मान लीजिए वो फार्मा की फर्म हो सकती है, वो आपकी IT की फर्म हो सकती है, वो आपकी इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट की फर्म हो सकती है, कोई भी फर्म है, तो वो फर्म अपने एंड पे खुद से रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए क्या इनिशिएटिव्स ले रही है, उसका रिसर्च कौन सी फील्ड में वो रिसर्च कर रही है, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट से क्या रिजल्ट्स आए हैं, वो सबको पब्लिकली रिपोर्ट करने की प्रैक्टिस को हम कहते हैं R&D डिस्क्लोजर. ओके, so it provides transparency about how much a company spends on innovation and new technologies. Yes, what is the R&D expenditure of that company, what research projects or products it is developing, what kind of research it is doing, what kind of product it wants to develop through its research. Okay, so that is what is R&D disclosure. The 5 key metrics of R&D disclosure, मतलब R&D disclosure के अंदर you have to disclose 5 things. These are, first is R&D expenditure. Yes, how much does the company spend on research and development. Second, patent activity. Patent activity मतलब what is the data, what is the status regarding patent filings, patent grants, patent expirations, patent maintenance, etc. That is second. Then thirdly, technology workforce composition, कि जो उस कंपनी में किस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजी को डेवलप करने वाली वर्कफोर्स है. यस, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टेक्निकल वर्कफोर्स डज दैट कंपनी हैज. देन लास्टली, टेक्नोलॉजी रेडीनेस लेवल्स. यस, व्हाट आर द डेवलपमेंट, व्हाट आर वेरियस टेक्नोलॉजीज, देयर डेवलपमेंट स्टेजेस, वो कौन सी डेवलपमेंट स्टेजेस में है, क्या वो फाइनल हो चुके हैं, क्या वो अभी प्रोटोटाइप स्टेज पे हैं, ये सारा डिस्क्लोजर आता है अंडर R&D डिस्क्लोजर. Now, what is the need for this disclosure? हम क्यों कह रहे हैं, why we are talking about R&D disclosure? What is the need for companies to disclose their R&D? What is the need for them to tell us about their research and development activities? So let's understand that. Okay, तो इस न्यूज आर्टिकल में there was a economic theory given. Yes, इस आर्ग्यूमेंट को जस्टिफाई किया था थ्रू by supporting through one economic theory. और उस economic theory का नाम है the market for lemons. This was a theory given by George Arkerlof. Yes, और इस theory का नाम है the theory of the market of lemons. Now, what does this theory say? This theory says that suppose there are two quality products in the market. We have all kinds of products in the market. There are some low quality products, there's some high quality products. Yes, but because the customers, the consumers, the buyers of those products cannot distinguish between what is high quality and what is low quality, they ask for discount on all products. Yes, and that is why once after a while good products start to leave the market. Yes, because good products are not getting what they deserve, they're not getting what is their actual cost. That's why they, after a while, they will disappear from the market. The same problem exists in corporate R&D. What happens that investors do not know that which company is doing what in research. अगर एक इन्वेस्टर को पता ही नहीं है कि ये वाली जो कंपनी है, ये जो फार्मा की फर्म है, ये इतना इन्वेस्ट करती है R&D में, इनकी रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट इतनी एडवांस्ड है, ये अच्छे नए प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हैं, अच्छा इनोवेशन करते हैं, तब तक वो इन्वेस्टर उस फर्म में क्यों इन्वेस्ट करेगा? यस, सो दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस इन कॉर्पोरेट R&D. Investors are not able to easily judge which firms are genuinely innovating. Yes, and as a result innovation is undervalued and underperformed. So this, in a way, this diminishes, this harms innovation. Yes, because investors do not know that which firm to invest in, which firm is doing well in R&D, etc., etc. तो अगर हम R&D disclosure करेंगे, if we make mandatory R&D disclosure standards, so all companies will have to disclose their R&D related activities, then investors would know that where we can invest according to their interests. Okay, clear? Now, let's see what are other needs. Then there is also one learning effect of disclosure. Yes, अगर एक कंपनी ने डिस्क्लोज कर दिया कि हम इस तरह की R&D कर रहे हैं, हम इस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजी पे रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, तो वो उससे और बाकी जो उस फील्ड में कंपनीज हैं वो भी सीख सकते हैं. So there is another benefit of disclosing R&D activities, that is learning effect. Yes, companies learn about their competitors research pipelines, and this can lead to improving project quality, development timelines, overlap with competitors, etc. Okay, then we have some evidence from China. Yes, जब से चाइना ने R&D disclosures को mandate किया है, तब से there have been there has been an increase in the innovation. Yes, जो innovation थी चाइना में, जो companies नए products बना रही थी, नई research कर रही थी, that increased since the time China mandated R&D disclosures. Okay, so these are the points which tell us that why is it important to necessitate R&D disclosure. Yes, these 3 points, I hope they're clear. Now we have to understand just the significance of R&D. So far we were talking about R&D disclosure. Now we need to talk about the significance of R&D. Why is it important for an economy to invest in research and development? Okay, the first point being, it promotes innovation and technological progress. Yes, we all agree. If we do not do research, if we do not study, how we will be able to develop and innovate new products? Yes, जैसे आपने COVID-19 के टाइम पे देखा होगा, हमने रिसर्च किया बहुत सारा, हमने बहुत सारे साइंटिस्ट को रिसर्च में लगाया, तभी तो हम एक वैक्सीन, वी कुड डेवलप अ वैक्सीन. यस, so that is why research becomes very important for innovation. Second, it enhances economic growth and productivity. R&D improves production efficiency, quality, and competitiveness. It leads to higher productivity in industries and agriculture. Yes, अगर हम रिसर्च करेंगे, अगर हम उस रिसर्च के बेसिस पे नई इनोवेशन करेंगे, तो हम we can come up with such techniques, we can come up with such new novel techniques which help us improve productivity in all these areas such as industries, agriculture, etc. जैसे ये the statistics also tell us this, that countries which have high R&D investments such as South Korea, Israel, and the USA, they have strong technological leadership. They are very fast, they are very advanced in their industrial manufacturing capacities. Okay, clear? Understood? Now, it supports strategic and national security. Yes, we all need research and development for our defense security. हमें हर we need to keep upgrading our defense establishments. हमें नई नई मिसाइल्स, उन मिसाइल से बचने के लिए डिफेंस सिस्टम्स चाहिए. वो सब कैसे पॉसिबल होंगे? दे आर पॉसिबल ओनली थ्रू रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट. Then it also addresses societal challenges such as related to public health, climate change, food security, energy challenges, etc. Yes, like we all know that जो आपके coal based fuels होते हैं, they cause pollution. They release harmful gases and emissions into the environment. Yes, we knew this, and that's why we tried to do more research and development. We came up with new technologies which are called as the green technologies or the renewable energy technologies. So ये भी कैसे possible हुआ? Through research and development, and that helped us solve one of the major societal challenges of increasing carbon emissions into the atmosphere. Okay, then it also promotes knowledge creation and human capital development. Yes, more research will have more knowledge, and we can progress towards our goal of becoming a knowledge economy. Okay, clear? Now let's see what are the challenges in India's R&D sector. Yes, we so far we saw what is the significance. Now let's talk about challenges. Firstly, we have low R&D expenditure. India spends around 0.6 to 0.7% of GDP on R&D, which is significantly lower than other economies such as USA spends 3.4% of GDP, South Korea spends 4.8, China spends 2.4. India lags quite behind in this. Then there is low private sector participation. Yes, इंडिया में जितनी भी मेजर रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज होती हैं दे आर मोस्टली गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटेड एंड गवर्नमेंट फंडेड. जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर है दैट हैज very less participation in research and development initiatives. Yes, then is weak industry academia linkages. Yes, industry academia linkages से आप क्या समझते हैं? इट मीन्स कि इंडस्ट्री की जो नीड्स है क्या उसके अकॉर्डिंग रिसर्च हो रहा है या नहीं. यस yes? क्या पता इंडस्ट्री की नीड कुछ और हो और आप कुछ और ही रिसर्च कर रहे हो. यस, that won't bear any fruits. Yes, we need to link industry and academia so that we know what is the demand of industry, and according to that the academia, our R&D institutes can do research and development. Understood? Then there is brain drain of skilled researchers. Yes, many talented scientists and researchers migrate to other countries because of better research infrastructure, higher salaries, and greater academic freedom, which leads to loss of intellectual capital for India. Okay, I hope this point is very much self explanatory that many of our scientists, many of our learned scientists migrate to other countries just because our research ecosystems, our R&D ecosystem is not very well developed. Okay, then the last point being inadequate research infrastructure. We lack modern labs, we lack advanced equipments, research funding, etc. जो major bottlenecks, major roadblocks बन जाते हैं हमारे R&D सेक्टर में. Okay, now these were all the challenges. Yes, we saw कि expenditure कम है, private sector का participation कम है, industry academia linkages कम है, brain drain हो रहा है, और research infrastructure भी at par नहीं है. Now let's see what are the policy recommendations. हम क्या कर सकते हैं अपने R&D ecosystem को strengthen करने के लिए. Yes, उसको और strong बनाने के लिए, उसको better बनाने के लिए. So the first thing is now we need to increase our R&D expenditure. हमने देखा कि हमारे स्पेंडिंग अभी बस 0.7% of GDP. It has to increase to at least 2% of GDP in the long run. Okay. Then secondly, we need to encourage greater private sector participation. वो हम कैसे कर सकते हैं? Maybe by giving through some tax incentives to private sector for research and development, giving some tax credits. Yes, or we can also explore the possibility of public private partnerships in research. Yes, then we need to strengthen industry academia collaboration. Yes, we need to do research in such a way that aligns with the industry needs. Yes, we need to set up innovation clusters and research parks near universities. Yes, so that needs ka or better communication ho sake between industry and academia. Then we need to improve research infrastructure. We need to invest in state of the art laboratories, testing facilities, and scientific equipment. And lastly, we need to retain and attract talent. जो हमारा brain drain हो रहा है उसको हमें prevent करना है, उसको हमें stop करना है. And how can we do that? By offering competitive salaries, research grants, and career opportunities to our scientists. This is how we can strengthen and boost our R&D in India. Yes, और अगर एक बारी R&D boost होगा तो it will directly be seen, the effects will directly be seen in our economy. We will have more innovation, we will have more efficient economy. Yes, so that is how R&D, boosting R&D sector is very very crucial for our Indian economy. I hope this topic is also clear. R&D में हमने सबसे पहले R&D डिस्क्लोजर के बारे में पढ़ा, फिर हमने पढ़ा R&D के सिग्निफिकेंस के बारे में, चैलेंजेस के बारे में और पॉलिसी रिकमेंडेशंस के बारे में. ओके, now let's move to the next article. This is one of the places in news article. Yes, आपको prelims के लिए places in news becomes important, the map becomes important. So let's see one state that is continuously consistently in news due to the ongoing Iran Israel war की वजह से. ये जो state है, Strait of Hormuz, ये काफी ज्यादा news में आजकल देखने को मिल रहा है. So let's understand where is it located, what is the location like. Yes, so this is the map of Middle East, right? Iran is located here and Israel is located here. Israel has its coast on the Mediterranean Sea, whereas Iran has its coast on the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. Yes, तो Strait of Hormuz कहाँ है आपका? Okay, see, here you can see Persian Gulf. Yes, ये जो water body है मिडल ईस्ट को जो डिवाइड कर रही है टू पार्ट्स में, दैट इज पर्शियन गल्फ. ठीक है, और पर्शियन गल्फ के एकदम नॉर्थ में आपका ईरान का कोस्ट लाई करता है. अब पर्शियन गल्फ को जो वाटर बॉडी गल्फ ऑफ ओमान को कनेक्ट करती है एंड आगे जाके अरेबियन सी को कनेक्ट करती है, दिस शॉर्ट वाटर बॉडी इज स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस. ओके, दिस इज स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस. ओके, this becomes important. This is very much strategically significant also because आप देखोगे तो सारे जितने भी ऑयल ट्रांसपोर्ट होता है मिडल ईस्ट से, दैट पासिस थ्रू स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस. दिस बिकम्स अ चोक पॉइंट ऑल्सो बिकॉज ये बहुत छोटा सा है. यस yes, ये दूसरा आपको ये भी पता होना चाहिए कि इसको कंट्रीज कौन सी बॉर्डर करती हैं स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस को. तो देखिए, नॉर्थ में ईरान है और साउथ में ओमान की टेरिटरी है. यस yes? So in the north lies Iran and in the south lies one small territory of Oman. Yes, so two countries bordering Strait of Hormuz, Iran and Oman. Secondly, you must know why is it strategically important. It is important because most of the oil transport from the Middle East, yes, from the Middle East countries passes through this Strait of Hormuz. Yes, it will pass through here, then come towards India, maybe go towards other regions. That's why it becomes strategically important. तो अभी क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि इतनी बॉम्बिंग हो रही है मिडिल ईस्ट में, दैट हैज इम्पैक्टेड द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस रीजन. यस, जितनी भी शिप्स जा रही हैं वहां से उनको बॉम्ब किया जा रहा है, जिस वजह से ये हॉर्मस स्ट्रेट जो है बहुत ज्यादा न्यूज में आजकल आ रहा है. यस, एग्जाम के लिए आपको ये चीज पता होनी चाहिए, स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस कहाँ पे लाई करता है, कौन सी दो वाटर बॉडीज को कनेक्ट करता है, कौन सी कंट्रीज बॉर्डर करती हैं स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस को, और वो स्ट्रेटेजिकली क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. देन दिस इज अ ग्रेटर मैप ऑफ स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस. इधर देखिए आपको पर्शियन गल्फ दिख रहा है और इधर गल्फ ऑफ ओमान है. ये ओमान का छोटी सी टेरिटरी है. यस, दिस इज ओमानी टेरिटरी एंड ऊपर को ईरान है. और ये बीच में जो वाटर बॉडी है जो इन दो बड़ी वाटर बॉडीज को कनेक्ट कर रही है, गल्फ पर्शियन गल्फ और गल्फ ऑफ ओमान को, दैट इज योर स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस. ओके, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. देयर इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पोर्ट ऑफ ईरान शोन हियर, द बंदर अब्बास पोर्ट. ओके, क्लियर. So this is how you should know. इस बारी के लिए आपका मिडिल ईस्ट का जो मैप है that becomes very important for your prelims exam. So I hope everything is clear in this whatever we discussed in today's daily news analysis. Please revise all that we did today and we'll meet again tomorrow in tomorrow's daily news analysis. Thank you so much.